Hello and welcome to another The Builders Agency Lessons, where I go back from the past week or so and find something that happened, something I did that we can learn from or extract some lesson from. And this time we're going to be talking about somebody that I hired over the last several weeks, this last month. I've been looking for a project manager, somebody to fill that role, do some web development and stuff, but primary role, long-term project management operations. So I've been on the hunt for that person, and I did hire that person this week. Woohoo! I'm very excited. I'll try to contain myself during this episode. So why am I doing that though? So these are the lessons I'm going to extract from that, because hiring is an interesting thing. You don't just hire to hire. I certainly have the ideal team in my mind that I know over the years that will develop over the last couple of years and probably coming years. And that may change and morph over time. And it depends a little bit on what our client base looks like as time goes on. But I knew at some point that I was going to have to hire somebody to help me with projects and onboarding tasks and helping assign those to the team and helping get those done, prioritizing things, and help with the systems and processes and all the documentation that underlies all that. So, but the reason that I knew it was time was looking at the time I'm spending, basically breaking out, where am I spending all my time? And for me, it's very, very obvious. Over the last year specifically, even probably over the last 6 months specifically, more and more I'm spending time managing projects, onboarding tasks, talking to the client about tasks or projects, getting those projects going, and then breaking that out into tasks and assigning that to the team, and then making sure those are prioritized properly, documented properly. We use, I call them dev briefs, but like creative briefs sometimes, depending on how complex it is, to break out those projects, building all that stuff out, and then following up on those, making sure they get done, answering questions, relaying back and forth from my team to the client, and maybe to the client, because the client's sometimes an agency and their client. So there's a lot going on there. And I spend probably at least half my time doing that. And it's growing. And I know that if we, in a thing with us is because we have these agency partnerships, and we may onboard like direct clients as well, but they're growing. So we could be stationary, but our partners are like, they're adding clients, they're doing more stuff. I've had a couple agencies I've been working with for several years, and they are starting to. I have two specifically in mind that are kind of not smaller agencies. They just didn't do a lot of web design or custom web design and stuff that we do, maintenance. But we're working on more than average for each of them right now. Plus another one scaling up. So it's a lot of craziness going on. So I know instinctually, like, this is going to get out of control, because I think it's very important for me to also wear my other hats, like helping with content and marketing and getting myself out there and in front of people. If you follow my content at all and what I do, you'll know that the beginning of this year, I tripled down on wanting to network, because I felt that was probably the most valuable thing that I could do, and that was working the best. It's where we're getting our best clients and all that stuff. That involves getting in front of people. That involves going to meetups or to, just meeting people, getting introduced to people, talking to people, doing the podcast, because that's kind of a networking thing. There's all kinds of things going on around that. So I don't want to lose ground too much there. I've had to dial it back a little bit, because I got to make sure that my current client base, I talk about agency first thinking as well. My agency, my team, my clients, they all have to come first. and I have to make sure they're taken care of before I go out and do other stuff. So I got to a point though that I have to assess this. And if we're going to continue to grow, this isn't sustainable for me to continue to just do all the project management. So I went out and found that person. The other kind of thing about this as well is it becomes too reliant on me to get things done. So what happens if I, take a couple days off? What if I have to go to a conference, or what if I, so as time goes on, my time, I may not always be here, but if I can have somebody there where I can now tell a client, reach out to so-and-so, and they can help you, or just have that kind of framework where they're kind of my number two, right? If I'm not here, it goes to them. So it's important. So the wheels don't fall off the cart, or whatever you want to say, when I'm not around. I plan on being around. I did have actually a client, one of my agencies, concerned because it's like, well, he wants to continue to work with me. He wants to continue to interface with me. And he hopes doesn't, I don't know, he might have misinterpreted that this person was going to replace me or something. And that's not the case. It's actually the opposite, because I feel like I can talk more strategy. I can be more involved with them and help them more by not doing all those little other tasks and stuff. Okay, I digress. But so those are the real reasons around it. It's really about assessing my time, understanding the value of my time and where I want to spend time and where I'm most valuable. Kind of, of course, what I enjoy doing and stuff too kind of fits into this, but really it boils down to what my goals are for my agency at this stage and in the future stages, where I'm going and where I need to be spending my time. So the other thing that I just wanted to touch on, so who is this person? And that, really boiled down to, I've actually imagined this person for quite a while. I knew this person, for me, had to be somebody that had web development experience. It's very important, because if you're going to manage people, you're going to manage a web development team or a design team, you have to have that experience. That's why I think I do okay, because I'm able to talk the talk, right? I understand coding. I understand how the back end, the front end, all that stuff. So it's easier for me to not only talk to the clients about projects from a technical level, but also talk to my team or translate things between the two. So, but I have that person. I found that person. The other thing is, how do I manage projects? How do we do things here? I got to make sure they're okay with that and they fit into that. Now, we don't follow agile project management, Scrum to a T, because just the way we do things. I've adapted a lot of those principles and things into what we do, but it's not a perfectly followed framework. But this person that I hired, it does have agile, Scrum, which is even better, because I got my Scrum Master certification at some point years ago. And so we can talk the same language around projects and understand that side of things on a more detailed level. I needed to have somebody that also would come in with their own ideas. The thing is that there's a lot of things I don't do because I don't have the time. I think we can get better at what we're doing, facilitating all the project stuff, if I have somebody dedicated to that. I can't be dedicated to that. There's things, even documentation. There's documentation I know we need, but I don't have the time to do it. Or it's not it's not at the top of my list anyway. But it's important when I'm onboarding somebody that they have their goals, their personal career goals are in line with what we're doing as well. So I made sure that we had the conversation around, hey, where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years? Because they've been a coder, they've been a programmer in the past. They've done a lot of stuff. They were learning new frameworks, JavaScript, React, all that stuff. They're going in that direction. They're doing all this. Does this person want to be a programmer, coder, or web developer? Or are they ready to get into management? And because I want to be able to develop this person long-term into somebody that helps me with operations in general, right? Helps me implement things and helps me, so their role could develop over time, depending on how things go. But I wanted to make sure they were on board with that. They were ready to manage a team or manage projects and all that stuff. But I knew that this role would, in the beginning, is probably going to be, there's going to be a percentage of their time doing development and stuff. So they're going to grow into that role. I need somebody that is able and willing to jump in and knock something out real quick. So like, instead of waiting 24 hours for one of our other teams to do something, if it's like one small task, sometimes I'll just jump in and do it, right? Just to get it delivered. So I need somebody that's able to do that has a technical knowledge or ability to go in and just, finish a little thing, change a color or something, just to get that delivered. So we don't have to loop it back in and then wait for the other person to show back up and take care of that. And so they're not only going to just be a project manager, but they're going to be kind of baked into everything and just helping deliver projects. And I really feel it's important for them to be a little bit involved with web development and keep up with that to be as effective as possible in their role, at least in the near term. So they got to be a team player, all that stuff. It was this particular role I knew was coming down the pipe. I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't know all the details around it, but it kind of all gelled this last month. I had some aha moments where it's like, okay, this is the type of person I need. Let's just put it out there. Let's go find this person. I'm creating a role out of this. It was funny. I was joking with her a little bit because we were talking about, she loves documentation. So we're going to get along great. She finds it, she understands the importance of it. I said, I have no documentation around your role. So we're going to have to build this on the fly. So I said, but I want to make sure that her onboarding experience is in good shape. She doesn't start until, a couple weeks from now. So I have time to prepare for that. Make sure she comes in, she's able to onboard and get hooked into everything and learn how we work and stuff like that. But I'm super excited. This is a great addition to our team. This actually, not including me, makes it I got 5 full-time employees now. I got a designer, does a little development. I got a couple developers, virtual assistant. This is one of those roles that I knew that was going to be required. It kind of rounds off our team. What I'm trying to do is build a team that kind of is independent of me and that it can get things done between all of them, depending on what we're doing. I'm still going to be very baked into it. In fact, like I said, I'm probably going to be working with, we'll be able to do more because I won't be spending hours every day just, writing tasks and assigning things and all that stuff. I can be working more on strategy, our goals, our vision, and going out there and networking and meeting meeting more people like you. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Until next time, have a good one.